Are any of these photos today just an anything? Just an anything? Why don't I talk about the technicalities of photography very much on this channel? Well, the answer is really simple. It's not that important. It's not that hard to learn. And the more important stuff is what I talk about. And that's what's going to be going on in this video, because I want to talk about the 3 most important things that you need to become a better photographer. And the truth is that they're relatively simple skills. There's not a lot to learn, but there's a lot to do. Your key skill is observation. It's all about finding a photograph in the very first instance, because if you can't do that, well, you're stuck. It doesn't matter how technically good you are as a photographer, as a camera operator, let's put it more like that, shall we, as a camera operator, then quite honestly, if you can't find the photograph, you'll never pass go. A load of people will tell me that they don't feel that they're totally observant, and I would turn around and say, well, you're probably just lying to yourself over that. Now, if you've passed a driving test, certainly in a Western country, you're probably a lot more observant than you imagine you are. The point is, it's how you see things. It's what you see, and it's how you envisage them. So this railing here, completely new build. It's nice, it's uniform, it works brilliantly in black and white because it's black and we can get a high contrast feel to it. And it's a good enough image for anyone to just kind of come and take, leading line straight through, and yeah, you've got a perfectly acceptable image that anyone in an environment where they're close to an industrial estate can just go and find these kind of images. But there's a real strength to them as well, because you've got just so many things that are on your doorstep or within a short drive from you that hold so many possible opportunities that we're missing all the time, because people will rush off to some amazing place where there's a tremendous architecture or whatever it happens to be, and ignore simple stuff like this. And why does it work? Well, it's just simple uniformity to it. It's geometry. They're just leading lines. You've got these divisions on the coping stones here. Takes the eye right the way through the image. It's incredibly simple. Anyone should be able to go and find an image like this, yet people don't. Now, I'm actually quite interested in this new build, and I'd often be interested more in character of all places, but that's probably ignoring the character that the place has, because whilst it's incredibly uniform, that provides so many opportunities, as I kind of indicated with this fence. I mean, you've got this light up here. I find the light really quite interesting because it breaks up otherwise just lines. Something else that I'm finding quite interesting, I'm not going to take this photo because it's encroaching on someone's private land, although they did invite me in earlier on, but just lovely new doors. Those handles, I'm telling you now, they would work. Let's move on to the key skill 2, and I'm very guilty of this very often, today included, because I've spent most of the morning prevaricating, sitting at home, doom scrolling, all of this kind of stuff, preventing me from getting my ass out of the door and being there. Key skill 2, turning up. How much more simple can that be? I always find juxtaposition interesting, and the juxtaposition here is it's got thorns, but the relatively soft nature of the plant against the very hard nature of the chain link fence, and a shipping container behind it. Let's work with this here briefly. There we go. Try and get the shipping container ident in the corner to give some reality to it, some presence. What's the context is the word I'm looking for. And just a simple little image that kind of highlights life, modern life. Oh, gorgeous. So this point of turning up, I mean, perhaps it should be point one of the skills I'm listing, because, well, you can't be observant if you don't turn up. Now, of course, you can be observant at home. You can see things at home, and often, actually, if you can find an image at home in the place that you are most familiar with, I think perhaps you're doing very well, because often we need to get away from those places. Often we need to get ourselves out to find these things that are hiding, often in plain sight. We're often not inspired at home. But being observant is all about just kind of keeping your eyes open, looking for these contrasts often. It's the lights and the darks are really important things. But also the contrast between something that's really busy and something that's really kind of open and sparse. And I feel like I've got that here. You see, there's this big kind of open car park. I don't know that the business is operational. You know, it doesn't look well kept. So perhaps it isn't, but I don't know. But one van, big open empty concrete space. Lots of weeds, lots of luminosity contrast. There's lots of lights and darks here. Kind of lends itself very well to a black and white, I feel. I do a lot of black and white in these kind of places, and let's see what we can get out of it. Got to be careful of this lamp post here. Do I come low with this? I'm not sure. Yes, I think actually coming low works rather nicely for it. I'm on a manual lens, 25mm here. I didn't want to overcomplicate things today. I'm not going mad with this in terms of over-focusing. The one thing I'm troubled with here is the van's looking out of the shot, so I think I'm going to recompose that further down here. I'll show you that one first anyway. Let's see what we can do from this angle. There's less growth here, so maybe I need to come lower. I probably do, actually. Pull this little thing into focus, well, not focus, but into the bottom of the frame. I need to come back a bit on that. Now that van is still looking out of shot, but I think it kind of works well with the yarrow or whatever it is at the bottom there. Just kind of position it at an angle opposite the van. And then I've got another weed sticking up, which is very much taking my eye. Nuts. What about if we come over here? We can use this wheel. That kind of works. Come lower. If the video is providing you with any value whatsoever, please do click the like button, subscribe, or perhaps join the channel for more content, including full edits of some of the images. You can also support me by buying me a coffee. There's a link in the description. A lot of the time, images in places like this can help tell a story, create a kind of narrative. I rather like this corrugated steel fence, wall, whatever you want to call it down here. It's so uniform. And then this huge buddleia just kind of breaks the normality of that along there. I kind of like it. There's all kinds of elements to it. We've got just simple kind of light blue and grey tones in this wall, and then we've got the greens and the purples of the buddleia springing over the top. I just kind of like it. It's simple. What else can I say about it? You'd probably ignore it, but I hope when you see the image of it, you'll think, oh, that's not so bad at all. Rule number 3, be inquisitive. I can't stress this enough. It's just look. Don't discount anything just because, well, it's boring. I'll tell you now, every single photograph I've taken today is boring. they all started out as being boring images or boring subjects, perhaps not boring images. And this is I think the distinction is because you might look at it and think, oh, it's just a fence, or it's just a leaf, or it's just a bolt, or it's just a gate, or it's just a something. Are any of these photos today just an anything? Honestly, discount nothing until you've really explored it. And perhaps by exploring, I also mean taking a photo of it, getting all of the possible angles that you might find being remotely compelling. Because if you simply turn around having already said, God, it's boring, and walk away from it, well, you've missed whatever opportunity might be there. You know, we don't have the cost of developing a film here. This is just, well, if it's no good, you can delete it or keep it as a reminder that it's there, and perhaps you just missed the shot. Go back perhaps another time, if it's not been burned down, keep going with these things. There's so much that we can that we can ignore and dismiss, that often we do, and perhaps we absolutely shouldn't, because there's interest everywhere. Like, this lock, this caught my eye as I was walking past it, and I just like that close-up shot of that building in the distance. Tells a story. Gates locked, business closed for the afternoon or the weekend or whatever it happens to be. So I opened the video by effectively asking why I didn't talk too much about the technicalities of the art of photography. And let's go back to that for a moment. Now, I said that I didn't think it mattered a great deal, and that's part of what I've got in terms of equipment, because I've got a manual lens with me, and it's just possible that one or two of the images in this video aren't quite nailed on sharpness. Doesn't matter. It's because sometimes actually it's what the image contains, what it says, how it's constructed, that's far more important than whether it's pin sharp. In actual fact, we can get too clinical about so much of these things because, well, we don't need things to be pin sharp all the time. If we want something to have a degree of character, mystique, grunge, whatever, being absolutely sharp isn't the most important part of it. Now, there are clearly more requirements over and above the 3 key rules of being observant, turning up and being curious, but these 3 must be your main factors. If you're a terrible camera operator, that's fine. It's better to get a technically poor image of something interesting than to get a technically brilliant image of something that nobody wants to look at more than once. The challenge is always to get the concept right, because there is literally millions of possible places to put the camera, but only a very few limited number of exposure and focus permutations. Ergo, you should concentrate on the element that's got the most variables rather than the least. Now, people often get stuck with the opinion that photography is difficult, or that their reason for the photos not being great is that they need a new camera or lens or some other new thing. Now, this is never the case. Sure, a more capable lens or a camera might unlock additional possibilities, but if you're no good at unlocking the possibilities without it, spending money on some new gear will never change that. Similarly, travelling to an epic place won't guarantee epic images if you're simply not capable of making epic images. Of course, photography these days is easier to get into than any other time in history, but getting good at it still requires practice, and lots of it. Nobody ever learned to read by picking up, say, the Divine Comedy at the age of 3 and getting stuck in. What you need is to keep at it and never turn down the opportunity to work with your camera, or perhaps without it. Now, you may think that I've lost my mind here. How can you possibly practice photography without a camera? Well, it's actually quite easy. You see, you can turn up, be observant and be curious whether you've got the camera or not. Yeah, sure, you might not be able to capture what you turn up for, what you observe, and what you're curious about. Maybe you can come back later with a camera and take the photo that you observed earlier. There's absolutely no need to actually take a picture whilst you practice these key things. What you need is to build a habit of combining these things. Get into the habit of simply looking at things in a curious way. Discount nothing at first sight. Every mundane item on your journey to work is a possible image. Every drain cover, every bit of discarded junk, every weed, that bench down the road, that rubbish bin that's always overflowing, that road sign, those steps, everything is a possible photo. Once you get into this mindset, no area is boring, regardless of how full of stuff it is, or perhaps even how featureless it is. The limitation is always you. If you're not convinced of the opportunities that are literally hiding in plain sight, like industrial estates and that kind of thing, here's a few more images gathered from this very location, all within half a mile of where I parked the car. Some are from a previous visit, and indeed a video, and it's linked at the end, while others are from my 90 minutes there this previous weekend. Why not check out these videos for more boring things to photograph? You take care. It's really difficult to hold this pose.